Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's broadcast. This is Ben Mitchell here. Really appreciate you guys for joining our Tip Tuesday Facebook Live. Again, I've had a lot of firsts lately with these Facebook Lives and recently did Word Wednesday. I've been a guest with Coach Blair a couple of times in some of these, but I believe this is the first time I am now hosting one of our Trading Tip Tuesdays. Sorry, that's a bit of a tongue twister. But guys, when you see me join these broadcasts, there's going to be a slightly different take on these things because unlike Coach Blair, Coach Dave, Coach Jeffrey, my focus here at Tradeway is a little bit different than our stock trading education. It actually focuses in on the precious metals side of things. And so as I typically do, that's the direction we're going to take today's Tip Tuesday. But I think it is still going to be intriguing to a lot of you guys, even if you have been mainly focusing on stock trading, because it incorporates some of the same principles, some of the same style, if you will, that we have with our stock trading education. So let me ask you guys a quick question just to get us started. How many of you, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with technical analysis. That is looking at charts to determine if a particular stock or even the overall market is making a predictable, repeatable, reliable pattern that we could potentially trade. You guys are pretty familiar with that at this point. But let me ask you this. Have you ever considered applying those same principles and looking at a chart before you go buy physical precious metals? I mean, that's coins, bars, rounds, gold, silver, whatever you guys prefer. It could be junk silver even. How many of you guys have ever thought about incorporating technical analysis into your physical precious metals investing? Again, before you go buy those coins and bars, let me know in the chat what you think about that concept. Or maybe even if you have done that in the past, please let me know so that you guys. Let me know if you guys have ever thought about that concept before or utilized that with your precious metals investing. If you haven't, let me give you a quick sneak peek. Here is the tip for this week. It's going to be incorporating short-term buy points for your, as we would call here at Tradeway, hyper long-term precious metals investing. There are three types of investing, guys. There's short-term trading, there's long-term investing, and that is kind of, the buy and hold mindset that a lot of us are familiar with. There's actually a third type as well. It's called protective investing. And that's where precious metals fall into place. And so again, today's tip, it's incorporating short-term buy points for these really long-term protective investing type strategies. So let me share my screen really quick so you guys can see my chart here. So what you guys are looking at here this is actually the spot price of gold. Okay, now this is the price, the spot price of gold. The way I like to think about it is it's the main price of this precious metal, right? It is the price that so many other things are derived from. That could be gold ETFs, that could be gold stocks. But more specifically, what we're talking about here, physical gold coins or bars, rounds, whatever it may be, whatever your personal preference is. And if you haven't ever considered buying physical gold, guys, the reason why we even talk about it, why we even put so much emphasis on it here at Tradeway and have an entire educational division on it, is because gold is one of the best, if not the best, sources for preserving your purchasing power, the purchasing power of your money. Okay, I'll just leave it at this really quick, guys. Last 20 years, your savings, your purchasing power of the money in your savings has lost 56% of its purchasing power. In the last little over a decade, it's lost 25% of its purchasing power. In the last 4 years, it's lost 11% of its purchasing power. And that's based on the Consumer Price Index. Those are statistics provided by the government itself, the Labor Bureau. And so listen, guys, our money is dying all the time because of gradual inflation and things like that, cumulative inflation. These are active problems that we need to solve on a daily basis. Precious metals investing is actually a very active form of investing. It's not passive like a lot of people think, because it can be protecting us from things happening every day, like that gradual inflation. So again, protective investing, that's the category this falls into. So take a look at your chart here. This is the spot price, and this is the main price that the value of these coins that you're going to go buy later down the road is based upon. And so Let me explain a couple of things going on here. So first of all, you see these kind of green translucent rectangles or whatever down here. What these are is, for those of you familiar with the way we like to chart, we have these things called historical horizontal price points. These are areas that a chart likes to pivot off of, whether that be for support or resistance, and has done so many times in the past. So what I like to do with gold here, I don't necessarily do this with my individual stocks, but because the price of gold that you're looking at can be so volatile, I like to have these historical horizontal areas designated as more of a zone or an area, like I just said, rather than a specific line. And some of our coaches, if you're familiar with Coach Jared, he talks about these zones all the time. So I like to incorporate that when I'm looking at the gold chart. And so these four, horizontal like rectangles you see here, those are some support or in some cases resistant zones that I like to keep an eye on. As you can see back here, there were three specific areas that, sorry about that, guys, three specific areas that it hit down here. And, it at some point pivoted within that zone. Same over here. It just did that a couple of weeks ago. Not only did it use that historical horizontal to pivot off of, but it also used this trending support line that I have drawn as well. So there I can see that is some added strength to the trending support line I have. And, so that's what those are. That's what those green rectangles are. Those are the zones that I'm looking at for either support or resistance going back to some degree. Now, what about the trend lines going on? You guys can see I have two parallel trend lines. I have this top one at resistance and this black one right here is support. Those are parallel trend lines. And as you can see, gold to some degree is in a downtrending pattern. And I'll talk about why that's important here in just a second. But you'll also see this other red support trending line that we have drawn here. These lines were actually based off of the technical analysis one of our precious metals analyst, Andrew Wilburn, put into place. And I like copying his lines because he is a really solid technical analyst. So what this is, guys, it's an interesting pattern. It's called a falling broadening wedge. You guys can see it's making a wedge pattern like we talk about at Tradeway, but it is getting wider as it moves down the channel rather than getting narrower and narrower. We talk about pennant wedges, descending and ascending wedges. This is called a falling broadening wedge, and it's actually a bullish reversal pattern in the midterm. So yeah, gold has been kind of in a downtrend overall, right? But the idea, what we're looking for here, guys, is we're looking for it to tag support, which it did down here, eventually make its way back up to this resistance line up here. Again, it's getting wider and wider, or it's broadening, right, as it moves along. And we're looking for a breakout at that resistance area, that resistance line, and then it falls into its next extended bullish rally. Okay, so that's kind of the pattern that we're looking at here on this chart. Now, with all that being said, and you can even with all of that aside, what is something we can take from this for you guys, whether you are brand new or have been looking at charts for a long time? How can you take this information and do something about it right now? Again, guys, the tip for this week is short-term buy points for these hyper long-term investments. And we're talking about coins here, guys. Don't forget, I'm talking about physical precious metals. So here's what you can do. Take a look at this overall, despite what exact pattern it's making. One thing is for sure is that we can see that gold and silver, let me see if I can do something really quick. I'm going to hide the drawings. Okay, so there's everything off the chart. This is just the candlesticks on the pattern here. One thing for sure, regardless of how specific you want to be, gold is going down, right? In general, it's been going down in kind of this short-term trend. What we can do, guys, is we can be watching for it to continue to go down and make these dips. So we have one here. We have a pretty good dip here. Another one here that just happened a couple of weeks ago. And when it makes these dips, just like we would if we were trading a stock, when we're trading stocks, what we want to do is we want to, buy on the dips. According to the Tradeway just textbook education, you're looking to buy on the dips and then sell if you're in an up play when it gets near resistance. Well, what we can do, guys, is we can incorporate the same idea here on the buy point. So we can wait for these dips. And we can go in and then we can buy some gold coins. The reason why it's so cool buying on those dips, guys, is because the spot price makes up, in the case of gold, for well over 90% of the value of the coin you're buying. Okay, so think about it. If the spot price is making up for over 90% of the value of your coin, and it's going, and the price of it is making a dip, the price is dipping, you're going to be, and you're waiting for that point to buy your coins, you're going to be getting more metal for your dollar than if you had purchased maybe up here, at when it was hitting resistance rather than support, right? And so let me show the drawings again one more time. Let's see here. There they are. Okay. So, let's say you go draw your lines. You have them on there. That could be it could be two parallel lines. It could be this broadening wedge that I have. It could be these support zones. It comes down here and it tags the support area. Well, we know based on history, because it's done it back here and even further back, that is an area that gold, the price of gold, likes to pivot off of. The big boys, the institutions, will go in and they'll purchase shares in the commodities exchange that can drive the price up when it gets to that area. And we have historical precedents for it. Okay. So as an individual investor, we can be looking at this. We can see it come down here. We can see it already broke through the zone up here. It broke through its averages. In fact, it's using its averages now to as kind of as resistance. So downward pressure there. It comes down and it tags the support zone. Well, now guess what, guys? You can go over to your favorite online precious metals dealer. Here's one that I highly recommend checking out, Texas Precious Metals. Go take a look what they have. And here's some gold coins. You can go purchase the gold coins of your choice after it hits that support zone, and you're getting more metal for your dollar, because once again, guys, that spot price is making up for well over 90% of the value of these coins you're looking at. There's going to be a slight premium attached to it. In recent weeks, it's been anywhere from 5 to 8%. So you're going to be paying a 5 to 8% premium for these coins because they're products, right? They're finished goods. You're going to be paying 5 to 8% above the spot price for these coins. But again, where's the main value at? It's the spot price itself. So 95% in some cases of the value of these coins is the spot price. So when you see it hit this dip, you see it dipping, the price is now down, not only in relative terms, but also it's at a good pivot point, about to start going up again, which it did. Go in there and buy up some of your favorite coins. And you can do the exact same thing for silver. So look, that's the gold chart. Here's the silver chart. Now, silver, you can see, is a little bit different. It's actually been in an uptrend recently. And you guys may be thinking, well, that's weird. I thought gold and silver usually kind of go in the same direction. In general, they certainly can. But silver has been outperforming in the short term recently, and it has found itself in an uptrend. But look at this, guys. Even with it being in an uptrend, check out where it's at. It is currently at a support level on the spot price chart. So you see it coming down. It's now tagging support. And then you could go in there and take a look at some of the silver options and think about purchasing some silver coins. Now, I'll say this, guys, the premiums for silver coins have been quite a bit higher lately for a lot of things. In fact, I've done Facebook Lives. You go back and look at Tradeway's Facebook page, and you may see some of the past Facebook Lives I've done. One of the ones I did was about the great silver spike back on February 1st. Go check that out. If you weren't there live with me, go check out the recording of that. And I talk about what happened on February 1st when silver spiked huge. In fact, check it out. Here it is on the chart right there. My cursor, but right there's the great silver spiker for that. And you'll see what was going on. But premiums are still up because of that. So, for example, this Silver Eagle, I mean, we're currently around a 27% premium above spot price. Not too bad. Silver is typically a little bit higher than gold, the premiums are. And so just keep that in mind. But again, it comes down, it starts tagging support. If you like silver, go check out one of your favorite precious metals dealers, see what they have in stock, see what their premiums are. And you could potentially, make a long term, or as we like to call it, hyper long-term investment through using precious metals, using these short-term buy points off of support. These are real-time charts, guys. This is happening in real time. Obviously, check it out. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit on the silver chart here. We can see it's actually broken down below our support area for today, our support line. So we can't tell the future. This could actually come down a little bit further, maybe hit an area right around here, around the 23 level or even 22. And so hypothetically, yeah, it could go down even further and we could get an even better buy point in regard to that spot price. But according to our current estimated lines, we're at a support area. And then gold specifically, I mean, we're still up off of this support zone really nicely. We're coming back down a little bit today off of those averages that are now causing some downward pressure. So that's just a quick snapshot of how you can use short-term buy points to get more metal for your dollar when you go and buy these physical precious metals at any given point down the road. So I'll end with this, guys. Email me at preciousmetals@tradeway.com if you guys have any additional questions about, how to invest in precious metals, how Tradeway likes to do it. We actually have a full-blown education on precious metals. We just finished up a 2-day virtual event at the beginning of this month, but guess what? We have another one coming in June. So if you want more information on that and how to get our full-blown precious metals education, send me an email at preciousmetals, plural, all one word, at tradeway.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. We actually have a question here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me stop my screen share really quick. So let's see here, Mario. You say, when you buy gold coins, are you just paying for the weight, or are you also paying for what is printed on the coin? Hey, that's a great question there, Mario, and I know exactly what you're asking. So what he's saying, guys, is you notice when we looked at those coins, not only are those coins like does it have a weight attached to it? So in some of these cases, 1 ounce. So let's just say a 1 ounce gold coin. There was also some artwork attached to it, right? You had the kangaroo, you had the South African Krugerrand, you have the eagle, the special artwork attached to these coins. He's asking, are you paying for that too? And the answer, Mario, is yes. Because now let me clarify though. Let me get a little bit more specific. It's not necessarily just the artwork by itself. It's the manufacturing that went into producing that artwork. Okay, so, and again, guys, I break all of this down in detail in our precious metals education here at Tradeway. But what happens, guys, is it costs money for the gold to be mined out of the ground, to be refined, and then to be sent over to, let's just say, the United States Mint to be made into an actual product, such as the gold eagle. And of course, when they manufacture that, they put their special artwork on it. They even attach a face value to it, making it legal tender. And you are paying for that as the consumer. So Mario, to answer your question, yeah, when you go buy gold coins, the reason you're paying a premium, again, it could be anywhere from 5 to 8% in the case of gold, 1 ounce coins, you're paying for the manufacturing process that went into producing that coin. I hope that makes sense, but that's exactly what's going on there. You're never going to be able to go buy physical gold at the spot price because you are paying for a finished good, a finished product that went through a manufacturing process. And listen, guys, I know you might be thinking, well, man, doesn't that mean the consumer kind of gets the short end of the stick there? We're having to pay a premium because of the manufacturing process and stuff. Well, you could look at it that way, or you could look at it this way. Isn't it great that we even have the option to go buy these coins and bars? Because listen, guys, it's the physical metals that can really be a wealth preserver. Okay, you could go buy gold ETFs, you could go buy gold-based stocks and other derivatives and things like that. But where is the intrinsic value there? The reason why physical gold coins and bars can be such a unique opportunity for investors is not because of its potential growth, but rather its ability to preserve your money's value. So the amount of money that you may put into some gold coins, Mario, even though you're paying a slight premium for it, in the long term, as we print more money, as inflation continues to accumulate, and other factors that are in play deteriorate the value of our paper dollars or our digital dollars, is an even better way to put it. That gold is preserving the purchasing power there. It's almost like a portion of your savings adjusting for inflation. Wouldn't that be cool if your savings automatically adjusted for inflation? That's like what happens when you have a portion, not all, but a portion of your money or your savings in gold. So that's a fantastic question there, Mario. You are paying not only for the weight for example, a 1 ounce gold coin, you're not only paying for that weight, but you're also paying for the manufacturing process, which includes the art or what was printed on the coin, like you phrased it, Mario. Fantastic question. You guys have any more, feel free to put it in the chat box or the comments, and I'd be more than happy to answer that. And I'll just say this, guys, if you like what you hear, if you are intrigued by this concept of short-term buy points for these hyper long-term investments and want to know more about Tradeway's take on precious metals investing, feel free to reach out to me directly at preciousmetals@tradeway.com, all one word. That's my direct email address. And like and share this video because you may have some friends and family out there that are interested in precious metals investing as well. And guys, listen, we want to help you, your friends, and your family get the most metal for your dollar as possible. We'll show you how to do that in our precious metals education. So reach out to me, preciousmetals@tradeway.com. In fact, let me put it in the comment section right here. You guys can just copy and paste it. You guys can reach out to me and my team directly. Let me make sure I don't have a typo here. preciousmetals@tradeway.com. There it is. It is in the chat box for those of you on YouTube and Facebook. Just send me an email if you have any questions or want to learn more about it. I'll be here to help you guys out. So I'm going to leave it at that, folks. The comment board is clear for now, but even if you're watching the recording later, feel free to put a comment in the comment section. We'll respond to it and get your questions answered. It's been a blast getting to be with you guys on my first Trading Tip Tuesday. Of course, it's slightly different spin today, specific to precious metals investing, but I always like getting to bring that perspective and a little change to the board there in that regard. It's certainly what I'm passionate about here at Tradeway. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you next time. Let us know if you have any questions later on. Like and share the video here. And yeah, look forward to future sessions with you guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.